Alright, so we're going to start off by looking at the solution to this problem, and how we're going to do that is we're going to look at how to use the information that's given here. So OA is given as 8A. So I'm going to label this piece of information in my diagram. So arrowhead to show the direction, and then we can put 8A as a label down here. The same way OB is shown as 6B, but I don't want to mark that directly there. So what I'm going to do is basically look at the next piece of information, which tells me that OM and MB are split in the ratio of 1:2 parts. So rather than taking 1:2, which is a total of 3 parts, I'm going to take it as 2:4, which is equivalent ratios. And why I do that is because now the total parts is going to be 6 parts. So it's very easy to split the 6B that is given to us, right? So that means I will now have OM as 2B and MB as 4B. All the way the direction will be like this. So I can mark the arrowhead here. The next part is the N is the midpoint of AB. So what does this tell me? This tells me that the distance AN or the vector AN is going to be equivalent to the vector NB. It also tells me that AB, right, half of it is going to be equivalent to AN. So I will keep this piece of information for later reference. So we are going to start off by working OP. So I can see from the diagram that OP is actually parallel to ON, right, because P lies on ON and we have been told that. So we can write that OP is a scalar multiple of ON. And the next question will be, how do we find ON? Well, we can see that ON can be we can find it out by going through OA and then using A to get to N, right? So that is what I am going to do. So I am going to write this as ON is equal to OA plus AN, and we already know that AN can be found by half of AB. And I actually can identify AB from this diagram. So let's start off writing this answer down. So if I move down here to get some space, so we will start off by calculating AB, right? So from the diagram we can see that AB is basically AO plus OB. So since I am going in the opposite direction of OA, this is going to be negative 8A plus I am going to go from O to B, so the total 6B is taken there. From this, now I can work out that AN is basically half of AB. So that is, I am going to write half open bracket negative 8A plus 6B. So this is going to be negative 4A plus 3B. But again, that is only AN. So remember, the next part that we have to work out is ON. So ON is basically we have found as OA plus AN. So OA is just what was given in the question. So that's 8A, and AN is basically what we have just identified here as negative 4A plus 3B. So the total of this is going to be 4A plus 3B. Again, we are not done yet. We have to continue on further. So the next thing we are going to do is work out what is OP. So OP will therefore be a lambda or some multiple of 4A plus 3B, right? And I can expand this and write 4 lambda A plus 3 lambda B. And we will leave it there because there is no way we can progress from this point. So then what are we going to do instead? Well, we have to see in the diagram if there is another way to work out going from O to P. So, if we see here, the other way to go from O to P is by going OA and then plus AP, right. So, that is also possible. So, how am I going to write that? So, OP can be also found by OA plus AP. But you can see in the diagram that I do not know what is the value of AP. But you can see that if I move up a little, that AP will actually be parallel to AM, right. Both AP and AM are going to be parallel. So, again I can write that AP and AM are parallel by a amount. Now, the mistake most students make here is they use the same lambda that they have used earlier, but we can't do that, right. We don't know that it is the same ratio. So, you have to use another symbol here. So, you can use mu or any other symbol that is of your comfort. So, again now I am going to figure out how do I find AM, right. So, AM can be found by AO plus OM, right. So, that is going to be negative 8A plus 2B, and from here I can now work out the next line. So, that is AP is equal to mu of negative 8A plus 2B, which means I can simplify this as negative mu A plus 2 mu B. So, OP is OA plus AP. So, OA is 8A, AP is what I have just worked out, which is negative mu 8A plus 2 mu B. So, now from here we have identified that 8A minus 8 mu A plus 2 mu B is equal to OP, but OP is also equal to 4 lambda A plus 3 lambda B, the two expressions that we have worked out here. Now, technically speaking, the coefficients of the A's on both sides have to be the same and the B's on both sides have to be the same. That is, 2 mu must be equal to 3 lambda. And at the same time, 8 minus 8 mu should be equal to 4 lambda. So, what I can do is, I can substitute instead of 8 mu, I can break this and substitute this as 8 minus 4 times 3 lambda is equal to 4 lambda. So, from here I can do 8 minus 12 lambda is equal to 4 lambda, that is 8 is equal to 16 lambda, which means lambda is equal to half. And now that I have worked out the value of lambda and I know that OP is equal to 4 lambda A plus 3 lambda B, I can simply substitute the value of half. So, that means this is going to be 2A plus 3 over 2B. If I want to double check, what I can also do is, now that I have calculated the value of lambda and I know that 2 mu is equal to 3 lambda, then using this expression I can find out what is the value of mu. So, mu is coming down to 3/4. If I take that I can also substitute into the other expression, right. So, I can substitute into this expression for OP and see if I am getting the same answers here. So, 8/4, so that is 6A there, and so that is 6/4, which is 3/2B. So, that again simplifies to 2A plus 3/2B. Therefore, my answer is correct.